Guys, I'm not going to wait. We're going to start the show now because we got to talk about AEW Dynamite. Some good, some bad. Sometimes I scratch my head. Sometimes I really enjoy it. There's things I really freaking like. There's things I really dislike. I don't know how to explain this. I'll do my best. Hopefully you guys are all having a great night. We're talking about AEW Dynamite, September 14, 2022. What's up, MGT? What's up, Phantoms? What's up, Jay Davidson? What's up, Nate? What's up, Justin? Hopefully you guys are all having a great night. There's a lot to talk about. First, I'm going to post a poll in the community tab. I'm very curious to see what people think. What did you think of AEW Dynamite? And let's see what people say. And yeah, I just posted that. So we're going to take a look at that by the time we see the end of the stream. Hopefully everybody's having a good night. A lot of stuff to talk about. Yeah, it's an interesting night. Nelly Nell, right off the rip. Why was Tony Storm buried tonight? WTF? Yeah, that was for sure one of the head scratchers. I don't know what they're doing with this women's division, and to be honest with you, I don't know what the hell's happening in this company. This company has some really good stuff on their TV, and then they have some really bad stuff on their TV, and it sucks. Like, I feel like there's like some really, really good things happening in AEW, and then there's like these really bad things that are happening in AEW, and the things that are really bad definitely like overshadow the good. You know, and I think it's just sad, to be honest with you. It's sad, and it sucks because, you know, Grand Slam, when you look at the card for Grand Slam, that's a beautiful card. The card for Grand Slam is incredible, but then like the build up to that is just kind of like, it's very meh. And I've been saying this, and I know this is not a debate between WWE and AEW and what's better. The big thing I have been calling out AEW all year long in 2022 is that AEW has been very inconsistent with storytelling. And now people are starting to finally realize what I've been saying. A lot of people are finally starting to agree that I've been right about this. And I appreciate those who were listening to me. It's not about being an AEW hater or being an AEW fan, but the more that I watch AEW, the more that I tend to get a little bit annoyed with watching AEW, because how can you show so many signs of greatness yet still drop the ball at the same time? And we're going to talk about that today. Shout out to Strong Style Ninja, Trevor, James, Gibson67. Thank you all for subscribing. Appreciate it. A lot of people in the chat. I'm going to be reading your guys' messages. Shout out to Angel, James Brown Gaming. Thanks for stopping by. Styles Omega Danielson, thanks for stopping by. Coop, thank you for stopping by. Robin, thank you for stopping by. Robin says, this is so weird now. Before I enjoyed AEW more than WWE. Now I enjoy WWE more than AEW. Like, I almost want to stop watching AEW because the build is meh as fuck. Yeah, definitely. We got a super chat from Captain Omni. $5 super chat. Been a bit. No longer doing ring work, but I'm currently a commentator for SWA Championship Wrestling, so still in the business. Always good to hear. Good to hear. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Shout out to Mr. Brophy5 for the subscription. Appreciate it. What's up, Luke Wade? Luke Wade is one of our VIP members on the channel as well. Shout out to Luke Wade for stopping by. Guys, this is just a weird night. Some highlights. Let's talk about the good, because yes, there were some good things that happened on Dynamite tonight. I'm not just completely shitting on the product. I personally thought the Acclaimed versus the Death Triangle, right? Pentagon and Penta and Rey Fenix, phenomenal match. I loved it. I liked the idea of the Acclaimed coming out afterward. I thought that was great. Powerhouse Hobbs getting a squash match, immediately interrupted by Ricky Starks walking through the crowd. Very, very good thing there. I like that. There's a little bit of continuity there, some consistency at least within the realm of Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks. So I did enjoy that. I also got to say, I enjoyed I enjoyed Bryan Danielson and Chris Jericho. I love that. And then, of course, I would be foolish if I didn't tell you guys I enjoyed MJF's promo, because MJF did a really good job tonight. Shout out to Angelina Moravi, Brian, John Moravi for subscribing. Thank you. We got a $10 super chat from Myra. Myra says, AEW logic, Lucha Bros win gold 1 week, next they lose. Make it make sense because AEW keeps slacking on the Lucha Bros. Yeah, I mean, look, here's the thing. You definitely need Swerve and Keith Lee to win before they go to Grand Slam, right? They got to look somewhat strong going into that show because they're probably going to lose the titles. However, you didn't have to book them against Pentagon and Rey Fenix. Like, that's the thing that I keep telling people. Yeah, like, it was a fantastic match, and I understand AEW is trying to do these fantastic matches. The problem is, these fantastic matches, I don't really see as being beneficial long-term for the success of AEW. So, they didn't have to book that match. It was a phenomenal match. I'm okay with Swerve and Keith Lee winning, but at the same time, too, why the hell are you even making Rey Fenix and Pentagon lose? They're the Trios champions. Why? They're the brand new Trios champions. And again, these are some of the things that I question about AEW. You know, you had some strong moments tonight, and then it's like these things that are happening are really freaking bad. Like, some of these things are bad. It's going to catch up to AEW. Fans, we're seeing it now, man. We're seeing it now. The general consensus with wrestling fans is wrestling fans have started to realize that, like, WWE is not the same shitty product that they were a few months ago. People are starting to realize, like, it's a different era in WWE. There's a reason why ratings are increasing. There's a reason why fan feedback is increasing. There's a reason why the momentum has shifted to WWE. And look, I'm just calling it out like it is. AEW had a pretty damn solid episode last week, and I was getting excited for this week. And then I see Toni Storm, the interim women's champion, getting pinned. I don't care if it's clean or not. Yeah, it's logical for her to get pinned, right? She got hit with the chair. She hit the chair. I get that. I understand that. I understand the purpose of that. But you didn't, like, what the fuck are they doing sometimes is what I'm asking. Okay? That's what I want to know. Tattoo Nick just dropped a $9.99 super chat. Oh my God, super chat battles are back. $9.99 super chat. I didn't watch AEW yet, but now I don't want to. Look, I'm not going to say skip AEW. I'm not going to say skip it. I think the highlights for me tonight, MJF's promo, I thought that was fantastic. I thought that segment with MJF, Stokely, very good logic there. They actually explained to people that they are the Firm, the new group. The Firm has been hired by MJF. They kind of explained what they want, what they're going after. I thought that was great. MJF's promo was incredible. I also want to say I really liked Swerve and Rey Fenix and, you know, Lucha Bros. That match was great. Maybe a little bit questionable on the booking aspect of actually putting that match together, but that was great. And I think Chris Jericho and Bryan Danielson was incredible. And those were my highlights for tonight. I also think the Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks thing was cool. Definitely not must see, but I thought that was cool. Shout out to Myra and Tattoo Nick for the super chats. Appreciate it. Everything else to me felt lazy booking. It felt unimportant. It didn't really, like... There's something in this company I just don't understand. It's the truth, man. I just don't understand it. I don't get it. And to be honest with you, Grand Slam is going to be phenomenal. It really will be. I mean, unless they really make some bad booking decisions like they did with All Out. But on paper, Grand Slam looks really freaking good. Like I think Grand Slam is going to be that's a pay-per-view level card, to be honest. But I didn't feel like today was a strong episode for AEW. It wasn't as strong as AEW was the week prior, and I don't think it just wasn't. It's strange, man. It's a strange thing. Justin Kennington dropped a $5 super chat. I think TK is getting lazy with his booking, but if he doesn't fix it soon, people will just skip his show and watch WWE. And that's the truth. That is the honest truth. And here's the thing. Tony Khan's on Twitter tweeting during AEW. You guys want to know my issue here? Get off fucking Twitter, okay? It's pretty damn simple. Get off Twitter. He's tweeting on Twitter, ratioing. He hit somebody with a ratio. Oh, I love this ratio. He puts out this tweet. And I think Tony Khan is more worried about looking cool in front of people on Twitter than he is about consistently booking shows great. And you know, the thing is, it's sad because this guy, from time to time, he has good episodes. And tonight wasn't even a bad episode. See, that's the thing. Like, I don't want people to get it twisted. I don't think it was a bad episode. It's just, there's a lot of things that make me scratch my head. And it's the type of shit that I expected from Vince McMahon. I didn't expect that from the Tony Khan that was running AEW in 2019, 2020, and 2021. This version of AEW that we are seeing all 2022 is not the same version that we saw leading up to AEW All Out in 2021. And if you can't see eye to eye with me on that statement, that's completely fine. I'm not saying you have to. But I think the general consensus, if you ask people, when did things really get bad for AEW? Like, when did people really notice the change? After AEW All Out last year. And after Revolution. I think after Revolution, that's when we kind of realized, like, this company's got some holes, and they got to patch it. The women's division, I don't know how to explain this shit. What was that? That's not what I expected from Tony Khan. And then the funny thing is, that gets fixed up really quick because you have Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker continuing their storyline, which, by the way, I thought that was a great piece to the puzzle, having continuity there. It's so strange to me, man. It's so strange. You guys want to know who debuted? I'm going to get to that in a second. We got some shout-outs. Shout out to, well, again, thank you, Justin Kennington, for the super chat. Shout out to Scott Baynard for subscribing. Shout out to Rick Corrales. He just dropped a $5 super chat. Morrissey looked like he didn't want to be there. To be honest with you, I'm predicting it. I don't think that relationship is going to work out. He does not look like he's interested in being there. But can you imagine why he would want to be there? What is the point of him being there? This group, they have a name. I love random factions, by the way. I love it. I talk about it all the time. You put random people together, great. I freaking love that. The Firm just doesn't seem important to me. Their mission doesn't seem important to me. Ethan Page wants the All-Atlantic Championship. Okay, that's cool. W. Morrissey just wants to do whatever the hell he wants to do. Like, Lee Moriarty wants to go for the Pure Championship. Okay, cool. What? What is the purpose of this group? Morrissey just did not look interested in being in this group. If that's his character, if that's the way he's going to work the cameras and stuff like that, I don't know. To me, I didn't see any passion from him in that time that he was on TV. And I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to be in this random-ass group that's thrown together. Even though I like random-ass groups that are thrown together, if I was W. Morrissey, I would rather be the leader of this group. We don't even have a clear idea of who's the leader of this group, which makes it intriguing. But Morrissey is in this group. He stands there. He just looks disinterested. Okay, well, why not go wreak some havoc backstage? Why not go take somebody out and create a program for this guy? No, they don't do that in AEW. They don't do that. Orange Cassidy attacks Pac. Great. They're trying to continue the storyline going into Grand Slam. I love it. Why not do something like that for Morrissey? Especially when Ethan Page goes up to that Pizza Primo guy, right? Like, why aren't we doing that with W. Morrissey? This guy just doesn't, I don't know, man. There's something very strange about it. Thank you, Rick Corrales, for this $5 super chat. Appreciate it. A lot of you guys are going off in the chat. Angel says Tony books his shows like GM mode from the old SmackDown vs. Raw games. Caesar says TK should just promote Jericho as the booker. I don't know how I feel about Jericho as a booker. I don't know what his experience looks like. I think TK needs a little bit of help. It's not terrible, but it's not great. It's in the middle. There's moments of greatness on the show. MJF is 6 stars out of 5. Chris Jericho, Bryan Danielson, 6 stars out of 5. Jon Moxley, Sammy Guevara. By the way, that was a great match too. I'm sorry I did forget about that. That was a fantastic match. You definitely should watch that. But then you get the shenanigans with Ty Mello and Anna Jay. So it's like, you didn't have to do that. He still lost anyways. You know what I mean? It's just doing shit for the purpose of doing shit. Justin Kennington dropping another super chat for $5. What is sad is he has a great roster, but in my opinion, he doesn't have a damn clue how to book them logically. That makes some damn sense to the fans. I think he knows how to book certain people on his roster. I think he like, for example, the Acclaimed. I feel like now we're starting to see Tony Khan understands how to use the Acclaimed. He's making them feel important. I give him props there, you know. Booking Bryan Danielson, Daniel Garcia, and of course Chris Jericho, I feel like he's very comfortable there. But I look at some other people on this roster and I'm like, what? Like Serena Deeb and Britt Baker randomly having a tag team match. Like what was the purpose of this? What? Why? Why isn't the TBS champion on TBS tonight? Why? What? It's crazy. He has a freaking amazing roster. He has an amazing roster. Some people know how to get used. Some people don't know how to get used. But guess what, guys? Since AEW's all-out media scrums, I just can't help to think that this show is just it's not important. And it's okay, because I'll watch next week Grand Slam. You guys will be here live. We'll talk about Grand Slam. I hope that I love it. On paper, it's a pay-per-view level card. I'm being honest. I think Grand Slam looks really freaking good. I think on paper that card looks really good. But how we get there just isn't. It's not for me. Juan says, at least Tony Storm has been booked better than Rosa as champion, to be honest, featuring every week and cutting promos, vignettes. Yeah, I mean, the problem is, though, she just got pinned. So that was a little bit of an issue. That's kind of how I see it. Cedric Gilmer says, I just ate a full block of cheese. It was fun at the time, not now. Okay, that's a rib. Albert Pons dropping a $5 super chat. The Hook vignette was so good. Acclaimed are way over. Good parts, but man, so much still to improve before it gets back to normal. I don't know if this show will ever get back to normal. I do want to point out the Hook vignette with Action Bronson was awesome as hell. Very, very cool. Action Bronson to me just feels like a natural when it comes to pro wrestling. Ever since he started going through like his weight loss and fitness journey, I've been saying that he should get into pro wrestling, so I'm glad that he's doing it with AEW. But just goes to show you how much AEW doesn't care about that match. That's going to be on AEW Rampage Grand Slam. So that's a little bit of a waste of time because Action Bronson has a big following as a music artist. You should have him on your key program, Dynamite, but they chose not to. But yes, the Acclaimed are way over. That's really good to see. I think going into Grand Slam, we're going to officially see the split of Keith Lee and Swerve. Yeah, I don't know. That's going to be very interesting. But I don't know what normal looks like in AEW. I feel like normal, there hasn't been anything normal about AEW Dynamite in 2022. That doesn't mean it's been terrible. It just means that it's a very, very, very inconsistent show. And each episode will always have something incredible on it. But the problem is that's not enough to keep me excited going forward. Thank you, Albert, for the $5 super chat. Appreciate you, brother. Shark Attack 38 says first hour of tonight was so good, then turned so bad. That seems to be a big trend in AEW. But I do love that main event. That main event was awesome. Chris Jericho, Bryan Danielson just have phenomenal chemistry. I can't complain about that. Moxley versus Danielson for the world title is going to rule. Danielson for world champion. I mean, I feel like Bryan Danielson has to win the world championship. We'll see what happens, though. Let's see. Tim Nichols says Big Cass needs to be in the world title picture soon. Well, based on how they booked him tonight, I don't know if I would agree with that. He didn't look like he was interested in being there. What's his purpose for being there? The group is cool, I guess. I like random groups, but like what's their purpose? What are they doing there? Why are they there? Okay, yeah, they want to go after certain titles and this and that. So what? These guys are all talk. They don't go attack people. They don't go set up programs. Like, I know what they're looking for, but why not set up a program or plant a seed to start a program? I guess that's like one of the things I'm kind of confused about. Like, why not do something to get us to that next step? Great introduction, great logic behind explaining things. Great promo from Stokely, great promo from MJF. Great. I love the logic and how things make sense there. I really do. I thought that was strong. I thought that was a good way of implementing it. And I love the fact that before they went to commercial break, commentary mentioned like, oh, MJF is causing a scene backstage. He's looking for a microphone. I like that. That was a good detail. You can't leave that out. However, if this group needs to be doing something to start a program, and they didn't do that. So now I really don't give a shit about this group. Tattoo Nick just dropped a $9.99 super chat. Maybe you can find out why TK don't push his younger talent, his newer talent like Ruby, Nice, and so many more that have been pushed dark. I mean, that's a question. I can't find out why. Tony Khan, here's what I'll say. Tony Khan is notorious for talking about ratings. He looks at ratings. He won't let Thunder Rosa cut an 8-minute. He won't let Thunder Rosa cut an 8-minute promo because she doesn't draw as much as CM Punk if he cut an 8-minute promo. So that's pretty much all you need to know in that regard. Probably why he doesn't push a lot of people. I thought Jungle Boy and Jay Lethal was stupid. Satnam Singh is not wrestling on TV. This group is like pointless now. So that's just kind of weird. But yeah, I mean, I agree. There's a lot of people who aren't getting pushed. There's a lot of people not being used consistently. There's a lot of concerns there. That's one of the biggest things people are concerned about with AEW. And truth be told, if I could be honest with you guys, truly, like 100% pure honesty, if I was AEW, I would seriously consider a brand split. I really think they need it. Give Rampage its own distinct roster. Give Dynamite its own distinct roster. The problem is they're having a hard time booking Dynamite. How the hell do you book Rampage? Well, that's where Tony Khan's got to bring in people to make some sense out of it. I just don't think AEW's been good this year. I really don't. Justin Kennington dropping a $2 super chat. Why don't you go live after SmackDown? Justin, that's a great question. So here's the thing. Here's the truth. I plan on doing more live streams on Friday nights. The problem is with Friday nights during the summer, and I've been very transparent about it, because I work so much on YouTube, Friday nights were kind of my nights to get out and like go do things. So I took a break from streaming on Fridays. I'll be live streaming Mondays through Thursdays, or Monday through Fridays starting next week. This week I'm going on I got some stuff going on this weekend, and I won't be around for that. So I won't do it this week, but starting next week I'll be live Monday through Friday. We'll have like a little schedule and stuff like that, obviously. But yeah, in the past, I mean, during the summer, it's just I like to go out on Friday night and get out a little bit because constantly working, making videos, content, streaming, emails, calls, things like that. It's just I needed a little bit of break. You know what I mean? I will say, also historically speaking, SmackDown and Rampage were garbage, so I didn't really care to like stay up and watch those shows. And I made that clear when I was doing the stuff on Twitch too. So now on YouTube, SmackDown has been getting really good. I have no problem with doing it, especially as it gets cooler outside. Once it gets cold and there's snow, you guys will see me probably a lot more, which I'm already active as it is. I'm super active as it is right now. I am probably one of the more active creators in terms of output and dedication and stuff. So you guys will probably even see more of me once it cools down and gets snowy and blizzards and ice on the roads, because at that point I ain't leaving at all. Thank you, Justin, for the $2 super chat. Appreciate it. A lot of people in the chat, guys. Al says, so the Young Bucks are on a Rampage commercial. CM Punk sign is now removed, and Omega's at a video convention in Japan. Don't know. There's no clarification on it. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens there. Tony Khan not necessarily talking about it, so we'll have to wait till that investigation concludes. Thunder Rosa needs to go to NXT so she could work on her mic skills. Well, Tim Nichols, that's an interesting point, but then you got to remind me: is AEW a sport or is it sports entertainment? In the words of Tony Khan in AEW, a sport doesn't matter. I watched LeBron James, right? I watched LeBron James go and play basketball. I watched Derrick Rose play basketball. I watch Aaron Rodgers play football. I see all these athletes, right? They play sports. It doesn't really matter if they cut a promo after their wins or losses. It doesn't matter if they're good on the mic in those post-game interviews. So if AEW is a sport, I guess it really shouldn't matter if their talent could cut promos or not. My point that I'm making is they're not a fucking sport. They're no different than WWE. At all, they're no different. But clearly right now, if you watch AEW versus WWE, everybody's going to have their own opinion. I think Triple H is absolutely shitting on the competition right now. Every single week. I'm not talking about business sense. I'm talking my own personal opinion on booking. I feel like Triple H is absolutely shitting on everybody right now. WWE has gotten to a point where the product has improved so quickly, and I feel like it's happening at a time where AEW is not. WWE is going upwards, AEW is going downwards, and I hate that. I really hope that changes. Yeah. Let's see. A lot of chats. Cody leaving AEW was a smart move for sure. Yeah, I think you can argue that. I think he knew. I think maybe he saw things coming. I don't know. Going to be really interesting to see 20 years from now what ends up coming up about that. AEW needs a performance center. I wouldn't be opposed to that. They probably should do that, right? Albert Pons dropping a $5 super chat. With Rampage going live for a bit after this month, it would be a good time to try to put on a consistent show and bring back fans who are sour. Yeah, I mean, and I think that's probably the right thing, right? I mean, I always said that Rampage is a really good show when it comes to being 1 hour. Like, I don't think Rampage needs to be 2 hours. I think for 1 hour, they get in a lot of content. The pace of Rampage is really good. I mean, look, right now they don't have their top stars. It's just the way it is. They don't have their top stars. It clearly affects them. They need to get better at consistent booking and having a plan. That's what I really think it is. I really think they just lack the plan. You know, and that's where I see similarities between AEW and WWE, because I think, like, Vince McMahon, when Vince McMahon was running WWE, it was like, okay, we're going to do this on TV, and then there's no fucking plan for it. And I think that's one of the things that is very interesting to me, because I never saw that from Tony Khan in AEW, but now in 2022, literally, it feels that way. After Revolution, it pretty much felt like AEW didn't always have a plan. And I get it. There's things that interrupt the plan. There's injuries. You got your EVPs and your champion getting suspended. I get your plans get ruined. But I'm not even talking about the plans for those people. I'm talking about the plans for other people on TV who are just kind of doing things and it doesn't always make sense. So yeah. Shout out to Albert Pons. Thank you for that $5 super chat. We got another super chat from Dominic Knight for $1.99. There's no comment with that one. Yeah. Thank you for the super chat, though. Appreciate it. Tim Nichols says, the promo tells me why I should buy a ticket to come and see said talent. Sure. You're right. But it's a sport, so I guess that doesn't really matter. Because it's a sport, and sports promos don't matter. You got to remember that. That's why AEW says they're a sport, not sports entertainment. They make fun of sports entertainment on their show. You got to remember that. AEW makes fun of sports entertainment on their show. So if they're a sport, if pro wrestling to AEW is a sport, yeah, I guess the promos don't really matter. I guess you should only care about the wrestling portion. You shouldn't care about storytelling, logic. You shouldn't care about any of that. You should only care about the wrestling matches. My point that I'm making, guys, is AEW is not a fucking sport. They were never a sport. They were always sports entertainment. And at times they were better than WWE with sports entertainment, and now they're kind of doing worse than WWE. Just the way it is. The plan, the vision, something got away from it, and that's kind of where we're at. Dominic Knight dropped another super chat, this time with a comment. Dominic Knight dropped a $1.99 super chat. Who debuts? Yeah, so for those who didn't know, AEW was taping Dark Elevation. There's no clarification on this, but Grand Metalik had debuted at the tapings. I will get more clarification on that, and we'll talk about that. But we're just waiting to see kind of what happens there. Very interesting situation, though, because Grand Metalik also debuted at Impact Wrestling recently. So we'll see if there's anything that comes out of that. Thank you, Dominic Knight, for both of your super chats. Appreciate it. Philip Kadik, what up, dude? I hope I pronounced your last name right. AEW needs to get rid of the rankings. I don't even feel like they talk about rankings anymore. So, yeah, that pretty much seems dead to me. Zachary dropping a $1.99 super chat. So Stokely isn't with Jade anymore? Question mark. No explanation. I don't know. He says he's not a publicist. He's not a manager. He's not this. He's not that. He says he's just a friend. So they didn't really clarify for sure if he's done with the baddies. I don't think that's the case, but I also think it would be a very strange thing for them to take him away from the baddies. I mean, he does really well with them. I'd also like to think that the baddies need him. So, but Jade is great on her own either way. So I just like the presentation of all of them together. So thank you, Zachary, for the $1.99 super chat. Appreciate it. Juan says, who thinks AEW will be cut by Discovery? I don't. I think they would have to really, 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 really flop to lose their TV deal with Discovery. Trust me, just because I'm criticizing the creative right now doesn't mean I think their business is going to go downhill. We saw WWE have terrible creative and make $1 billion. So sometimes it's not, I don't think you should expect anything that drastic. At least I don't think so. They only been around for 3 years. It's not the end. AEW will be fine. Stop complaining. No, because if you want change, you got to complain. If you tell these fucking people that their show is good all the time, then they're never going to make change. That's the truth. So here's the thing, David. I understand what you're saying. 3 years. I don't really care if it was 3 years, 2 years, 1 day, or 20, 30, 40 years. Tony Khan, clearly a wrestling fan. Okay? Clearly a wrestling fan. But what he's putting out on a weekly basis is just not satisfying to me. And I ain't going to lie. I ain't going to lie to you and act like I enjoy it. Like I said earlier in the stream, there were some really, really cool things on tonight's show. And there was a lot of things where I'm scratching my head. And that's just the way I feel. Justin Kennington dropping another $5 super chat. Hey, sports entertainers beat wrestlers every time. Isn't that what Jericho says in his promos, right? Yeah, I mean, like I said, these guys are making fun of sports entertainers, but yet the whole company is sports entertainment. And I don't know. It's just not, it just hasn't been the same product. I mean, literally, go back and watch some old episodes of Dynamite. Go back and watch some episodes of AEW from 2021 and tell me that I'm lying to you. Let's have that conversation. Because if you watch AEW All Out, from 2021, that's when you start seeing more inconsistent patterns. After Revolution this year, you start to see a ton of inconsistency. It's just the way it is. It's sad. It sucks. I hate that. But it's just an overall weird night to AEW. Again, signs of great things. And this company, I can't remember who told me this. There was somebody who told me this. They said you can show signs of greatness without being great. That's what AEW is. In 3 years, you want my genuine review? They have shown signs of greatness. And when I say greatness, I'm talking about like the best creative thing ever. So that's where I think the problem is. Just because you're showing signs of greatness doesn't mean you're actually great. And that's AEW. AEW has shown us that they can do amazing things, and they're inconsistent, I guess. Tattoo Nick dropping a 20 bomb. Off topic, when does the leaderboard go back up so I can see how bad Myra is smashing me? That's a great question. It should have been actually by today, but I couldn't get it working. Let's see something. Let's see something. We're gonna take a look at this. Tattoo Nick, I'm looking for you. I'm looking to see. I will have him for sure on the next stream. I don't know why this wasn't like showing, which is kind of crazy. Where is it? I can't find it. Tattoo Nick, I will find it. I will fix it. It will be on my live stream for next week for sure. For sure, I will. For some reason, let me see. Hold on, give me a second. Sorry, guys. Oh, maybe I found it, actually. Nope, that wasn't it. Yeah, so unfortunately, I can't find it. I gotta fix it. I will fix it. I promise I'll fix it. Sorry, Tattoo Nick. I apologize. Let's move on. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. I promise I'll figure it out for you. Zachary dropped a $1.99 super chat. After Punk signed, AEW went down. That's the truth. I think that's a good. I mean, look, me personally, I don't feel like he had some good moments. He hasn't really done anything for the youth of AEW. So, yeah, I can actually agree with that. I don't see anybody really. I think maybe MJF benefited from working with him, but I didn't see anything else from that, unfortunately. Anybody else tired of seeing the same old moveset? Chop, chop, chop. 3 matches worth. Teach, I'll be honest with you. I love the chops, especially in AEW. These guys are crazy when it comes to the chops. Keith Lee getting chopped is awesome. So I disagree. Personally speaking, I love chops. I love when it happens in every company. So I'm totally cool with that. Let's see. Why isn't this working? I feel like I just got something. Oh, Rick Corrales dropped a $5 super chat. Sorry, guys. Trying to figure this out. Twitch, YouTube, all these things with live streaming, it's been kind of funky. So Rick Corrales dropped a $5 super chat. To be honest, good thing for DVRs because I fall asleep on a lot of AEW shows. Yeah, I mean, that kind of seems like it's with any company, to be honest, I feel like it's kind of a thing. Not just AEW though. I feel like sometimes, like even WWE had that issue where I'd start falling asleep, to be honest. Thank you, Rick, for the $5 super chat. We got more super chats. Andre Benson dropped a $5 super chat. Like I said last week, AEW is kind of hitting the reset button. The high spots going on with AEW right now is MJF and the Acclaimed, the pops for them. Yeah, I mean that's a really, really good point to make. It's just and I talked about it. Like, these were the good things that came from AEW today. There was a couple other things, but then there's other times on TV where I'm like watching, I'm like, what? Like the same person who is booking Bryan and Jericho and Garcia, the same person that's booking the Acclaimed and MJF, like, is that the same person who's booking Tony Storm and the Woman? You know what I mean? Like, there's some like question marks there, and it just doesn't make sense to me. Thank you, Andre, for the $5 super chat. We got another super chat from Albert Ponce for $5. Off topic, whatever came from Wentz and Kimber's situation. I have seen him reunite with Miguel and Reed in the Indies recently. # Rascals. Yeah, I don't know. There's I mean, that's a great question. As of right now, I mean, he's working the Indies, and that's kind of it. I mean, that's just kind of the way I see it. Yeah. Thank you, Albert, for the super chat. We got another super chat for $1.99 from Zachary. MJF didn't need Punk. Punk needed him more. Truth. I agree with that. I do actually agree with that. Sadly. Okay, so I'm trying to figure something out right now. And it's like really pissing me off. Where's the thumbtack? I'm trying to figure something out because while I was streaming, there was something that came up in my update. And I was trying to see how I fix this. It looked really cool. Basically, there's an update on my system where I can pin your guys' comments to my screen. So when I'm addressing something, I could pull it up. Why can't I see it? Let's see if this works. No, that's not it. Okay, well, I'm going to have to unpin that. Sorry, Robin. I don't know why. So basically, there was this thing where it says I could throw the comments on the screen. Use this widget by hovering over the right side of a chat message to see a thumbtack icon. Clicking the icon will pin the message to the widget for its duration until you click the unpin button. Yeah, that doesn't seem to be working here. So we'll have to do that for the next stream. Hopefully I can figure that out. WWE to Netflix rumors. Great question. They're still ongoing. I don't know. I mean, I don't think we're going to see anything just yet. It'll probably be a while till we see that. It'll probably be a while till we see anything come from that. When is the studio show happening? Great question, dude. It's in the works. It's taking a lot of time and energy and resources. So hopefully soon. I don't know exactly when. But yeah, we'll kind of see. I don't know. I don't want to say a date or anything like that. To be honest, I don't want to jump to conclusions with it. Wow, I really want to figure this out. This would have been sick. Why can't I figure out? I'm trying to figure out how to pin your guys' messages to the stream. And I feel bad that I'm taking like too long trying to do this, but it's like really cool. But I can't. I can't get it. That is so strange. I can't get it. Robin says, by the way, I watched the Slam episode 2 podcast early this morning. I've watched like 40 to 58 minutes of it, but had to head to work. But so far, the episode was great, man. I think you have to unpin mine first. Didn't I unpin your message? I thought I unpinned it. But why isn't it on the screen? See, I'm trying to get it. So I have your comment pinned. But the thing is, I want to be able to pull it up on the screen. And it says I can. But it's not actually working when I try to. That's the issue. I'm trying to get it so like I see that it's pinned on the screen of like the live stream, but I actually could pin your guys' comments to the actual video. So you guys can see the comments that I'm referencing, which I've been wanting to do that for a while, and I hate that I just got distracted with it. because that is something I've been wanting to do for a long time. So this way, when I just start responding to comments and super chats, they just stay on the screen until I take them off. But unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be working. Shout out to Robert Shemansky. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. Let's see. Let's try this again. Chat highlight. Why isn't this working? Wow, I feel so bad. I feel like I just completely got... Mike, I know what you're talking about with StreamYard, because I know that's a thing in StreamYard, but I'm using OBS. And there's something on OBS that says I can use chat highlights. Which is why it's so interesting. Because it says I can do it in OBS now. I haven't seen that before. So I'll have to figure out. I'll try to figure that out for the next stream. We're gonna move on. There is a plugin, I think, for OBS. Mike, do you want to send me that information? Because that would be sick. MGT says, hey, Ango, would you make a video of like 10 AEW talents that need to be released? Absolutely not, because I would never advocate for people to be released from their job. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. I'm not going to advocate for WWE or AEW to release anybody. I think that's silly. I think that's silly to advocate for that. I think, yeah. Ango is getting distracted. Time to go to commercial. But you could still catch all the action in picture-in-picture. Oh, that's freaking great. That was a good one. See, if I can pin your comment, I'd put that one on the stream right now. But I can't do that. Gosh, that's so funny. That was a good one. I read it in like Tony Schiavone's voice. Or Excalibur. Oh, Carlos, that's a good point. Okay, yeah, maybe it's too new. I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about, Nate. I don't know what that is. YouTube fan says, what are your thoughts on Judgment Day? Do you think they might need to be introduced to a new day? Get it? New Day rocks. Judgment Day. Judgment Day rocks. Judgment Day rocks. Judgment Day rocks. Judgment Day. All right, dude, you guys distracted the hell out of me. Any possibility that Triple H works with New Japan? No. Not while AEW is doing that. Do you have a site where you can be a member of your show? Yeah, actually here. You could actually just go here. I'll send you the link. It goes right here. So you just click that link and then it'll take you. Did I watch Roman on Impulsive? Absolutely. I loved it. Ango keeps saying he's got to move on, but then seconds later he's still trying to figure it out. Yeah, man, because I just really wanted to. I really want to figure it out. I didn't even know it was a thing that I can do in OBS. I've been wanting to figure it out in OBS for so long because it's just going to make it so much easier. So basically the way that I want it is when you guys write something in the chat, I can put it on the screen. The super chats, the comments, I could just throw it up on the screen. This way you guys know exactly who I'm responding to. I know it might be a silly little detail, but it's something I've definitely wanted to do for a long time, and it just kind of sucks that I can't figure that out, unfortunately. Unfortunately. So, yeah. What's up, Mike's Auto Detailing? Do you guys think they should make AEW rings smaller like WNBA, lowering their courts? What? What are some WWE versus AEW dream matches? Kenny versus John Cena would go low-key, go hard as... Yeah. For me, my only dream match that I truly care about in AEW and WWE is Kenny and Roman. I've been talking about that for so long. How much did I love Cobra Kai? Judas in my mind. Yeah, that show was sick. And it's cool that they have like the Chris Jericho references. They did it twice on the show, season 3 and then I think this season. But I loved Cobra Kai. I thought it was great. Good storytelling. Logical storytelling. Nice build up. Some big babyface and heel turns too. That was sick. Nate says Seth freaking Rollins versus Kenny Omega. How about just Seth Rollins versus Kenny Omega? That would work good enough. I don't know. Guys, we're going to call it a night. We're going to call it a night at this point. Because OBS is freaking out right now, too. So it's just being really weird. Well, Justin Kennington. I say this as Justin Kennington drops a super chat. Outside of Kenny versus Roman, what is your dream match between AEW and WWE? That's the only one I care about. That's the only one I really think is a dream match for me. I mean, if you want to add another one, you could just say the Bloodline versus the Elite. But Kenny versus Roman is the only match I care about. Thank you, Justin, for the $5 super chat, just as we're about to get off. We're going to call it a night, though. I want to figure out OBS because it's freaking out right now and it's like glitching on my computer. I've never experienced this before. So I shouldn't have messed with it while I was live streaming. That's what I get for doing so. But thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. Yes, I got a little bit distracted. We started off hot and then unfortunately that's kind of what happened. So we'll be back. I'm going to figure out how to get everything working. And Tattoo Nick, I know you want the rankings. I'll get that fixed as well. I'm going to figure out what's happening with Streamlabs. I'm going to do a lot of research tonight and try to figure it out. But thank you guys all for stopping by. I appreciate it. And I will see you guys next time.